Howdy folks, Justin Mason with the Florida Bluegrass Network, here with banjo extraordinaire Mark Johnson.
Hey folks, how's it going?
Mark is one of the pioneer of his own sound, a clawgrass sound.
Clawgrass.
He's been playing all across the country, and especially down here in the state of Florida. Well, Mark, why don't you give me a little background about how you got started?
Well, sure. Let's start with the word clawgrass. Where'd that come from? Well, all it was the title of an album.
Right.
You know, how arrogant would I have been to say, hey, I created a whole new style of playing the banjo. The reality of it is I got discovered. I moved here in Florida in 1981. I was 26 years old, and I was working at the local nuclear power plant here in Crystal River, Florida. Bring our instruments in late at night, and at lunchtime, which is around 2 in the morning, and shift there, and we play. And some of the people that came to visit were Herb Rice, Larry Rice, and Ronnie Rice, of the Rice brothers. And Larry and I just became very close. And he says, "You're coming home with me." Brought me home, introduced me to the whole family, and that began a period from about 81, gosh, right through the end of the 90s. Larry passed away in 96. And Tony moved back in 85 here from California, and then Tony loved what I was doing, so he decided to help me. And he used to invite me out to play with the Tony Rice unit after we recorded an album called Clawgrass. Clawgrass was recorded in 1992, released in 94, and just kind of started snowballing. You know? But the way the term came out was we were wondering if we were going to call the album Clawgrass or Blue Hammer. Right? And everybody goes, let's call it Clawgrass, like that. And so, you know, over the years, all the hubbub, having Tony Rice introduce me around the world, around the country, people going, he's created this whole new style I've never heard. I thought I was playing old time. I just didn't know what I was doing. And basically what the people doing the articles in the magazines, the cover stories, like Bluegrass, they started calling it that, the radio interviews. Let's call it Clawgrass. Lack of whatever else to go on. And that's how it came about.
Well, why don't you show them what the clawgrass sounds like?
Well, I'm not doing anything different than old-time players do, except to reapply the knowledge into different time signatures and using chords. I write a lot of my own stuff. Here's an example of some of the stuff I write. There's a tune called Mosby's Rangers. Sorry. Actually, that wasn't Mosby's Rangers. There was a tune called My Friend Betty. I came close to it.
So tell us about this beautiful instrument you're playing here.
Oh, this little thing here. I've been, where does that start? When I was working with Tony Rice and the unit, and those guest shows, about 5 or 6 of them. One of them was at Merlefest in 1996.
Wow.
And we were on the hillside stage, and we're playing away. And John, I'm standing up. You got to reach up to get to the stage. And John Hartford reaches up and grabs my pant leg and goes, "Mark, I found your banjo. Come with me." You know? Okay, so we came down. I walked with him over to the tent where all the instruments were set up, and Greg and Janet Deering were there. And this wasn't the instrument. The one I had last night I was playing was the instrument. It was sitting up on a rack. And the story goes that somebody had ordered that instrument, and then somehow reneged on the deal. They didn't have the money to pay for it. So it's $12,000 instrument. And the Deerings just loved what I was doing. Took John at his word and sold to me for like $1,000. And with an advertising technique, and he was like, "Run, sell banjo." Right? And that was a long time ago, and just got better and better, better ever since. This banjo here was one that Greg and Janet Deering created for me with my specs back in 2006. It's highly ornate, but what makes it give it its sound, it's got a Northern California walnut neck. It's got a maple rim, and it's got the Deering 06 flathead tone ring and the full bluegrass scale, but the neck is specialized. It's cut a little wider than normal. And I like to play clawhammer up in here. And all the extra stuff was just stuff that the Deerings did just to make market banjo. And Greg personally carved, the heel, and he's a solid mother of pearl buttons, and the pearl inlay. None of it. None of it makes you play any better. It's just looks good with a pair of jeans.
So you've been playing your style of bluegrass across the country, like you said, and with Tony, and obviously John Hartford, if he's grabbing you and showing you banjos. But what about the state of Florida? I know I saw you personally the first time at one of the Sertoma festivals. I saw you come on stage and play. Matter of fact, I saw you a few months ago play with Sideline. I believe you got on stage and played with them.
You are a young man. You are a young man. You're a young woman. I'm turning 64, but back when I was about your age, I started hanging out in Sertoma and up here, and it all boiled down to the style kind of came about in these two areas, these two places. Mitch Lynn, who runs the festival down there, is a dear friend of mine. He's helped promote it. I don't know, it's kind of just a long story about how the sound evolved. Of course, when Tony moved back here in '85, that's really where it started, because he would invite me over. His breakfast was around 9 at night. He's a nocturnal guy. And on Friday nights, my wife and I worked. She would come home and fall asleep. I'm sitting there watching TV. Now let's go down and hang out at Tony's. And it's breakfast time. And we would sit there, and probably the most important thing, besides being a great friend, was that he taught me how to listen. And listen really closely to what was going on. We would sit there and listen to records, jazz records, bluegrass records, and he would quiz me. What did you hear on this? What did you hear on that? And then he pulled his guitar out and we started doing some stuff. And you just don't play with Tony Rice and you play old time, because the rhythm is wrong for the right hand in old time. You have to learn how to complement his guitar playing in a duet form. So I had to learn how to listen to what he was doing and creating like melody, counter melodies, harmonies, learn to play backup, learning when not to play, learn to put a lot of air and space in your music kind of. So that just all got going right down in here. And then probably when it really started getting the attention of the state was when I won that Stephen Martin Award, third winner of the award. That was back in '12. And the state folklorist, Blaine Kimmel, came down. Blaine, what's his right name? It's been so long, it's not there anymore. He came down and he says, we're going to bring the folk life people down here and film you as a new Florida tradition, clawgrass banjo. They came. A lot of this stuff came out of it, and I got into that. They actually encouraged me to get into the Master Apprenticeship program. And what that is, they pay me a set amount of money, and I have to find somebody out there that can learn to play my style. There was this young guy. He was living in the back of a gas station down in Hialeah, Florida. His name was Serge Boyenkin.
We know Serge. Serge.
The way I ran into him was we were down at the Old Time Festival down at Dade City. And Mac Benford was the guest banjo player, the Old Time banjo player. So I'm sitting there with a beautiful day. It's cool like this, but the sun was out. The moss is on an angle because the wind's blowing on it. And they were having a banjo contest. And Mac and I just sitting there like this, like we are. And Mac goes, "Oh, that boy up there sounds like you." I started listening. I go, "I'll be down." And a couple minutes, about a half hour later, next thing the guy standing next to me, I go, "Was that you up on stage?" I go, "Yes." So I put my banjo in his lap. He says, do this thing. Bam, 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 just like that. So all the people that are encouraging me to do this Master Apprenticeship thing, are looking at me like, there's the boy right there. And you have to have letters written. And it's very competitive. I never realized that program. You get all kinds of amazing Florida talent, everything from Latin dance acts to you name it. And they only hand out 11 of them. We were the first ones to get it.
That's awesome.
And then Serge was not the wealthiest guy in the world. He would take a bus up to Ocala. He'd stay with me for a weekend, and I'd show him stuff. He'd just eat it up, you know. At the same time, he was really trying to learn how to play scrug. He'd just eat what I was doing up. Amazing musician, you know, a very talented guy. So that caught a lot of attention around Florida. So with getting the nomination for Instrumental Album of the Year back in 07 with Emery, that brought a lot of attention. The Ocala Star Band and the Gainesville Sun have been following my career for years. And I just started to build on it. So I've got people like Mitch Lind, the folks here, the Knights before, you know, they own this property here at Withlacoochee. So many people. Dave Schlenker from the newspapers, the state folks up at the Folklife thing.
So many rich festivals and traditions here in the state of Florida. You and Emery Lester have played, seem like all of them up and down the road. And a lot of folks just don't know that, you know, with Vassar being out of Kissimmee and all the bluegrass,
Chubby Wise.
that is Chubby Wise, that's just homegrown here in the
Tony
state
Rice.
of Florida. Yeah. Well, Mark Johnson, folks, and I'm Justin Mason for the Florida Bluegrass Network. Thank you.